Greetings, everybody. Welcome to TAT, Talking Alopecia with Tammy. I am so happy to be with you all today, my loves. Let me not forget to wish you a marvelous Memorial Day weekend. Please, Memorial Day weekend. I guess, yeah, that's how that go, right? So you enjoy your weekend. I hope you are with loved ones, that you are safe, especially with COVID-19 still being high priority to us, guys. We are still very much on high alert. So just make sure that you are social distancing, socially, safely, if all that makes sense. All right, my love. So today, I definitely want to talk about when you go into a room and, you're sharing with people how you feel like, people are really looking at me and talking about me. It is not in your head. They are looking at you. They are talking about you, okay? It's real. When you go about the world and you look differently than people's norms, you do drum up attention, wanted and unwanted, invited and uninvited, all the same, unfortunately. And it also happens on different platforms. It might happen in real life when you're out and about with your family members, or you might have actually had some experience like I have myself, also online, virtually, where people have reacted or decided to share their thoughts about your looks, okay, your looks. So we're gonna dive a little bit into that today. And ultimately, usually happens when you decide, or when someone decides, that they are truly ready to display their honest, most genuine self. They are tired, or they just feel where the need to, or somewhere in their journey, they have truly made up their minds that they no longer want to placate an image that is not of their own. And they have decided to bring forth their most honest, genuine self. And that means sometimes for some people in their story, that means shaving their head. Some people in their story, that means, deciding not to wear that wig that particular day. For some folks, it's, their makeup. For some people, it might even be their prosthetic. Really depends on where you are in life. Once again, I truly feel like the things that I talk about are not just important to people with alopecia, but also important to people in general. So whenever you decide that those things are no longer for you, although, there is a time when you do want to utilize those things, but that's a personal choice. But when it comes time for you to decide to discard of those things and to just be your most genuine self in public, I do find, as a young lady, speaking from my experience, once again, I have had alopecia. I was diagnosed with alopecia when I was 4.5. I am now in my later than 30s. And so I have seen this and dealt with this for a while in my life, as some of you have, whether it be that you are in different levels or ranges of alopecia, or that you have some other physical things going on that people, often might have a reaction to. We all know that sometimes when you get into a place that sudden eyes on you, the awkward silence, the laughter sometimes, it can really prey on your insecurities. It can prey on your anxieties about the situation. Here you are, once again, being your bravest self, putting your best foot forward, but how is it welcomed in the environment, and it does play a part. And a lot of times what I find is you get defensive. We get defensive. We automatically want to protect ourselves from people's cruelty, because once again, there are people who will laugh and make jokes, or try to do things that which aren't respectful to others. I've talked about, as a young child, people reaching out trying to touch my head, snatch off wigs. Oh my goodness. Even now, some people assume that it's okay to voice their opinion as if it is wanted, and sometimes it's from a place of love, but also sometimes they don't understand where you are, and what they're trying to say, what they're trying to do isn't welcomed. It just isn't welcome. In fact, it's doing the very opposite of what you think it's trying to do. And I remember one time somebody was trying to share with me, ultimately I felt like really trying me or really assuming that I didn't have the faith for a cure, but they were acting as if I had, something I didn't. I'm like, man, that's not for me. Now maybe somebody else needed that word, but that word just wasn't for me, and I had to, kind of understand, no, man, that's not my situation. That's something that you yourself had decided to share that was, unwarranted at the time. Sometimes it's, I know a lot of guys, and I'm not even sure if this is like a segue for like, for them to approach or whatever the case, but sometimes, once throughout my life, I've had guys, say, great minds think alike, and I don't mind that, but, it is a little cringy, y'all. I didn't really think of this. I didn't really do this on purpose. And you don't know where I am in my journey, but I think it didn't come from a place of malice, if that makes sense. But once again, just to be more conscious, of what we say to people. Even today on my post, their comment about, I said, it was say something Saturday. And I asked them, so, how has someone said something to you? Pretty much it was inconsiderate, in regards to you being bald. And one person's comment pretty much said that someone, probably in a joking way, thinking that they were on that level or thinking that they were someone where they were not, and say, what you do, forget your wig today? What? As people might spell that out. What? Like, where do you do that at? Where you don't, if you are not in a place, an intimate place with that person, and you guys have that type of relationship, I would stay away from comments like that. I would stay away from comments like that. I remember one time I opened my mouth, kept seeing, I was a manager somewhere, I was doing some things, and kept seeing this woman walk around with this big belly. And one day in the register, I was like, wow, I know you can't wait for that baby to come. It's been a long time. She said, it's not a baby, it's a hernia. Foot all in my mouth, y'all. I'm sorry, man. I'm like, what else could I do but then, continue to apologize for my assumptions, which then made me look foolish and made the moment awkward. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness, y'all. So once again, you want to refrain. You want to take into consideration other people's feelings about what is going on, because sometimes people do that as a way to find their place. It's awkward for them too, and so they are struggling to find the words, and I get that. But just be aware that that person is already dealing with anxiety, insecurity, and all these other things associated on top of the normal human things that we go through. It's things associated with how they look, which ultimately can affect your quality of life, bottom line. I don't know why people try to think that it doesn't, but it can if you do not have the right type of attitude, if you do not command that people treat you a certain way. And so with that being said, once again, when you enter a room, whether you want it or not, you do find that you get this, it's an invitation almost to attention, whether you wanted the attention or not. And you find yourself kind of being defensive because you want to protect yourself from people, once again, their immaturity, sometimes their cruelty or pettiness, and just overall lack of consideration for what you yourself might be going through in those moments. And I just want to share, because I do feel like those people who might come across my videos, once again, might be on there's a spectrum to all of this. There's phases, there's levels, whatever you want to call it. No matter where you are, I want to be able to offer you some light in the tunnel, and while you're in that tunnel, that there is some light in the tunnel, because I have learned a few things just to kind of soften, not even soften the blow, but, to protect myself in a way which is healthy. And so what I've learned is that to be more into myself than I am into the room. I'm going to be real honest with you. As I grow older, I am more mature. I truly understand that my quality of life is my responsibility. My happiness, my joy is my responsibility, because people gonna do what's best for them, and in fact, people will do what's not best for them, actually. And I will not be manhandled. I'm not gonna waste my time, grappling with what really is their struggle, because I am fine. In fact, I'm more than fine. I am blessed and highly favored. Like, I ain't doing too bad. If I look around and start counting, putting some things together, oh my goodness, I'm all right. And it do fit a girl, I'm just saying. Could have done worse. So, I mean, that's important. And another thing I've learned, as you just saw, is to just be kind and gentle with myself. The world will manhandle you if you let it. You will replay things and people and moments and conversations over and over and over in your head, and make life just horrible for yourself. When at the end of the day, you be a little bit more gentler on yourself. You be a little kinder to yourself. It truly starts with you, and to not internalize other people's thoughts and actions, but to rather to analyze it. Where is that coming from? Because a lot of times I think you will find that it isn't you that is coming from. It isn't you. It is truly a reflection of what's going on with them. Right? Truly a reflection going on with them. Because people who love you and care for you, people who are respectful, who want to honor other human beings by treating them a certain way, will do just that. They're going to treat you a certain way. They're going to say certain things, and it won't be, once again, you won't feel like you have to be on defense mode all the time. But I do want you to know, it is not in your head. People are watching you. It is not in your head. So I do want to take a moment to kind of have a little story time. We love these story times, honey. And kind of piggyback off the people watching you thing. So my mom has always told me since I was a little girl, I don't know if I ever told you all, but I'm from, New York. I'm from Queens, New York, the big city, and so the bottom line being, my mom was always on some pay attention. Check out your surroundings. People are watching you. Even though you're not watching them, people are watching you.